Once, long ago, one YouTuber decided to take on old age itself. His videos pose the question, is it possible to live forever? Then one day, he was gone. What happened? Where did he go? Did the government shut him down for releasing forbidden knowledge? Did the Illuminati whisk him away? Or worse, was it aliens? His fans, distraught, cried unto the heavens with pleas of, "Where are you?" and looking forward to the results. But alas, he was nowhere to be found until now. What is going on, everybody? I'm back, and I have a very cool video for you today, especially for those of you who are interested in DNA methylation aging and the Horvath clock, especially as measured by myDNAge.com. That's right, I have your results, or rather, I have my results. I made some predictions early on. We're going to see how those stack up, but first, I want to take a second. I want to apologize for the delay. It's been like 2 months since I posted a video, and that just doesn't cut it. It's no good. I had some things come up at work and some family issues and the holidays. Everything got a little crazy, but I am back now, and I'm going to make a deal with you, okay? I am hereby going to vow to release at least one video every single week, okay? I'm going to have one video every week talking about what it is I'm doing, what I've done in the past, what I'm currently doing as far as reducing DNA damage and trying to extend my lifespan, as well as lose weight, get healthier, the whole 9 yards. But, so this is going to be a deal, okay? We're going to make a deal, you and I. So what is it that I'm asking? What do I want from you, right? For these insanely valuable videos that I'm going to be posting telling you what I'm doing, right? What am I going to ask? I know what you're thinking. It's probably like $1,000, right? That seems fair. No! I am not asking for $1,000. That's crazy. Your firstborn child? No! Hard no. So what is it that I am asking of you in exchange for this weekly video commitment? That's easy. If you look down below the video, you will see a button. Looks kind of like this. It's a thumbs up button. You're going to click that bad boy and like the video. And then, well, this is a two-part deal. You're going to hit the subscribe button. That way, whenever I post these new videos, you're alerted to it. You know it's out. You can immediately jump on it, and you can like that video, and the cycle continues. More videos, more likes, more videos, more likes. We all get younger and healthier together. We live forever, baby. Let's do this. Now, like I mentioned, we have a very cool video today. I've got the results from the myDNAge test, and we're going to go over those in just a second. First, I just wanted to have kind of a refresher course on what exactly this is. I mean, let's face it, it's been a while. myDNAge is a test you can take that'll measure the methylation aging on your DNA, which is a way of just looking at overall damage on your DNA from a variety of sources. So, for instance, let's say there's someone my age who smokes a pack and a half a day and has for the past 20 years, who drinks heavily, who eats poorly, who spends a lot of time outside sunbathing, etc. All of these things are things that have been proven to increase DNA damage and make the DNA replicate poorly.
in which case you end up looking significantly older than what you are. So where I am about to be 40 years old and I look, I think somewhat close to my age, this person might be 40 years old but look like they're in their early 50s. If you were to test their DNA with myDNAge, it would probably come back and say that they were in their late 40s or early 50s because the DNA itself had accumulated enough damage to where on a molecular level, they are in their late 40s or early 50s, regardless of what their actual calendar clock says. Right? Makes sense? So myDNAge is a service that looks at your DNA, they run tests on it, and they determine how old your body actually is just on a DNA level. Now, I made some preliminary predictions on this. At the time that I submitted my DNA, I was 39.8 years old. The hope is that your DNA reads around 39.8 years old, right? You don't want to be too far above. But I have not led the healthiest lifestyle, especially in terms of diet. I mean, you can tell I'm a hefty guy. I was morbidly obese at the time that I submitted my DNA. I was not eating well. I was not exercising. I was not really doing anything that I would assume would lend myself to a lower DNA age. So my assumption was probably in the mid 40s, somewhere in that area. And I would have been okay with that because then this year, over the next 12 months, I could work on actively trying to improve my DNAge and hopefully reduce it down, even if just by a year or so, and that's a win. That was my prediction. Was I correct? No. Not even close. No, I was extremely surprised when I got my results because according to myDNAge.com, I'm actually just 33 years old. That was a shock, to say the least. I'm in the 97th percentile of people my age, meaning when you look at the DNA from all the people who are 39.8 years old, 97% of them are older than I am. I mean, it's okay. It's all right if you're thinking it. I'm thinking it. I don't look better than 97% of people my age. But regardless, my DNA is younger than 97% of people my age. How is that possible? To be honest, I don't know. But I do have a few theories. Theory number one, good DNA. And I do have several markers that lend themselves towards longevity and lifespan extension. One thing that concerns me with just putting this all on the basis of good DNA is the fact that my health has improved over the past 15 years. See, 15 years ago, I had some tests run. I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. I was diagnosed as having heart problems that the doctor told me I would never fully recover from. It was something where my heart would always struggle because of the strain I'd put on it due to my weight. Now, over that 15-year period, I gained significant weight, roughly 60 to 70 pounds. So I was on average around 230 to 240, and after 15 years, I stayed on average around 300 pounds. So I aged 15 years, I ate poorly, I gained significant weight, and yet whenever I had a test run a few years ago to check the status of my heart, I was told I had the heart of a much younger man. In fact, the doctor was shocked by it. He said, I don't understand because you should not have a heart this healthy, but you've got the heart of a 25-year-old. So my heart improved over 15 years of poor diet and lifestyle decisions. Also, I took a test right as I was getting ready to send these things off for the myDNAge and for the InnerAge tests, etc. I went and had some blood work done, and come to find out, I have just crossed back under the threshold for what is considered pre-diabetic. So over 15 years of eating what I like to call Chris's garbage diet, I somehow got unpre-diabetic. So how is that possible? How do you explain that? I had the same DNA 15 years ago that I do now, and yet I'm healthier now than I was 15 years ago. Clean living. Now, my diet is terrible. Diet is a major contributing factor, but I don't spend a lot of time out in the sun without applying sunscreen. I don't smoke. Never have. I don't drink. I hate the taste of alcohol, and honestly, I find the sensation of being intoxicated, even just a little bit, to be irritating. So I just never drink. Cigarettes, alcohol, sun exposure, all of those things do lend themselves towards DNA damage, and they can cause you to prematurely age. The fact that I lack those would explain why myDNAge is better than other people's my age who do smoke, who do spend a lot of time in the sun, who do drink alcohol, who do recreational drug use, etc. But it doesn't explain why my DNA age is so far below my regular age. Not smoking or drinking doesn't make you younger. It just doesn't make you older. So I feel like there's some legitimacy to that, but that's not the whole story. Which brings me to supplements. I have long been a proponent of a variety of supplements, particularly those that are geared towards fat loss. And I've got a whole video on all of the supplements I take that I'm working on. That's going to be the next video I post. This video is going to be a two-parter. The first one is going to cover all of supplements that I take for general health and fat burning, and then the second video will be the supplements that I take specifically to aid in lifespan extension and reduction of DNA methylation aging. But the thing to remember here is I didn't start taking any of the lifespan extension medicines or supplements until after I took this test. So even though these are items that have been proven to increase longevity, and that's why I'm taking them in the hopes of improving my lifespan, I wasn't taking them before this test, so they had no bearing on the fact that I'm only 33 instead of 39.8. So what was I taking? Well, I took a variety of supplements that were geared towards health and wellness and fat reduction. And all of these supplements are covered in this first video that I'm going to be posting. And it's, some of them are simple things. Vitamin D, green tea extract, garlic, things like that that have not been proven to have lifespan extension benefits. But that being said, they haven't exactly been proven not to. As far as I know, they just haven't been tested for that. Hot and cold. Hot in terms of heat exposure, saunas, that sort of thing. Cold in terms of cold showers, ice baths, ice packs, cryotherapy, etc. Now, I have experimented quite frequently with heat and cold exposure because they are things that have been proven to have significant benefits to health and well-being, especially in terms of lifespan extension. So I think that there is something to the hot and cold, and I think that that may be a large contributing factor to where I measured up. I will be doing a future video on exactly what I mean by heat and cold exposure and what I have used in the past, what I'm using now, and what I plan to use in the future. So again, subscribe. That way you'll see it when it comes out. Now that brings us to diet. Now, I know what you're thinking. Really? Diet of this guy's diet has been lending itself towards longevity? Oh, I think not. But it might be. Hear me out. As I mentioned earlier, I have long struggled with obesity, and I have tried every diet under the sun. I've tried Atkins, South Beach, slow carb, low carb, paleo. I have tried pseudo vegan, or at least vegetarian diet. That did not go well. And of course, I have tried keto. Now, the one that I'm currently on and the one that I have done most recently is keto. As far as I know, I can't find anything specifically relating to the ketogenic diet and longevity. I can't find any studies where anybody's even looked into this. But we know that ketones have very specific effects on cancer cells and things of that nature. And it's considered to be kind of an anti-carcinogenic. It's been prescribed to some people for treatment of various cancers. There are doctors who study it as a anti-cancer diet. So perhaps some of what it's doing there is also helping to repair DNA. I don't know. Perhaps not. But the fact that I've been on the keto diet off and on for the past 4 or 5 years means that I've had a lot of ketones in my body. Maybe my body is somehow benefiting from the influx of ketones. Now, this is just a hypothesis. Right? I have no proof of this. I've done no studies of it. I'm merely positing on what could be. The other part of the keto diet that I know is helping with reduction of DNA damage is fasting. The keto diet thrives on fasting. It is a major part of a successful keto diet. And fasting has been proven to be beneficial in the areas of lifespan extension. So I think that there's something to that. I think that the intermittent fasting that I've done whenever I'm not on the diet, combined with the intermittent fasting when I am on the diet and the long-term fasting when I'm on the diet, means I've helped kind of clean up my DNA over the past 5 or 6 years. So as much damage as I've been doing with how I eat, when I eat, I think has been playing a significant role in repairing that damage. So what does all this mean? How does this affect me and the channel moving forward? Well, quite a bit. First off, I mean, it's good news. I'm not going to be upset at the fact that, I'm a decade younger than I assumed I would be. But originally, the goal of this channel was I'm going to test my DNA, see what I'm aged at, and then try and reduce that age over the course of a year or more. I see, I'm 39, my DNA age says I'm 45, I'm going to try and reduce that to 44, right? But that's not really going to be possible now. If you look at this chart, you'll see everybody is climbing. Now here I am, this bright green dot at the very bottom on the 40-year-old chart. Now the other 97% of people that are older than I am, they're higher up in this range. But we're all kind of in this particular range. We're all in this grouping. You don't see anybody aged 40 with a dot down here at 22. It's not likely that as I continue to age calendar-wise along this line, that I'm going to be able to significantly drop this. Or to put it simply, there's only so far you can go. When you're 40 years old, you might can get your age down to, say, 30, but that's going to be tough. You're not going to get it down into your 20s, not with the methodologies that we have available to us today. That's going to require some crazy CRISPR-style gene editing, not just clean living and diet and exercise and supplementation. That's going to take some serious medical know-how. So what would my goal be moving forward? Well, I would say my goal is going to be to try and, again, lose weight, get healthy, improve my diet, increase my exercise, and I still want to take the DNA test again at the end of this year. And I would say my goal would be to at least stay in the same range, stay in the 97th percentile. If I could move up to the 98th percentile, that'd be amazing. If I move down to the 96th percentile, that's not going to be the end of the world. But if I drop to the 92nd percentile, well, we're going to know that we got some problems here. Now, what is that going to mean in terms of years? Well, I was 39.8 years old whenever I submitted this test. That means I'll be 40.8 years old whenever I submit the following test. This one came back and said I was 33, so the next one would say I'm 34 to 35, somewhere in that range. If I can keep it 35 or below, then I think that's going to be good news. I think that's going to be kind of proof of concept that I am continuing where I'm at. So the two numbers I'll be looking for are to keep the percentile between the 96th and the 98th percentile, and to keep the age, I would guess, between, say, 33 years and 35 years old, as far as the DNAge goes. But we'll see. Now, lastly, I wanted to go over a couple of questions that came up on one of my previous videos, which is, what do they ask about whenever you're submitting this, and how does it play into the actual results? Specifically, when you register your kit for myDNAge.com, it asks you a variety of questions, including, have you taken any of these medicines? And it's medicines like metformin, certain supplements, etc. It asks you about some of these things that have been proven to reduce DNA damage. And it asks you your current calendar age. So there have been some people that have asked, well, why? What's it doing? Why is it asking these questions? And I don't know the answer to that. I have tried to research it. I can't find anything specifically pertaining to that on their website. But there's two possibilities. One, it is in some way skewing the results. Now, hopefully that's not the case, right? If they're looking at your DNA and they're saying, well, it's probably 30 to 36. How old does he say he is? That's not really helpful, which I don't think is the case. What I think is happening is, I think they're using it, for purposes of saying what percentile you're in. Like, they can't, if they read my DNA and it says I'm 33, they can't then use that to say I'm in the 97th percentile unless they know how old I actually am. So I think part of it is that they want to be able to see where you fall in that range. The other item, I think, is to see efficacy of different things. You know, if all of these people who are submitting these samples to them, they are submitting basically free research data. Okay, so they're able to look at all of this. And if someone says, oh, well, I'm taking metformin, they can then look and compare everybody who's taking metformin, and they can say, look, all of these people who are taking metformin, their DNA age is significantly younger than their calendar age. That's helping to prove that metformin is valuable as a life extension drug. That's the kind of thing that I think they're asking about. Okay, well, that's it. I know this is kind of a long video, but I hope you found it useful. If so, remember, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You might even hit that little notification button. It looks like a little bell. That way you get buzzed every time I post a video. I'm going to continue posting these videos, going over all the things that I'm doing now and that I've been doing over the past decade, since apparently they've been working. Thanks for sticking with me while I've been away. And leave me a comment in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Let me know what kind of things you're curious about in regards to the DNA testing, in regards to the cold therapy, the supplements, things that you've tried. Let's discuss it. And if you've tried some things that I haven't, I'm more than willing to give them a shot, within reason. Until next time, take care.